In the corner of Rusty Mug Cafe, morning sunlight poured through the windows, warm and quiet. A gentle hum came from the electric wheelchair parked by the front glass. Trinity Hayes sat there, still, silent, and alone. 26 years old. Auburn hair pulled back in a messy bun, a flannel shirt draped over her frame, and on her wrist, a soft white napkin, stitched by her late mother. The only piece of her she carried every day. It was peaceful, until it wasn't. A voice, sharp and cruel, shattered the quiet. That wheelchair electric, sweetheart? Or just for show? 3 bikers stood by the counter. Leather vests, loud laughs, ugly eyes. The tallest one, red, stepped forward. He tapped the back of her chair with his boot. She flinched, not from pain, but from shock. Her hand trembled. The bowl of chili rocked. A red splash hit the white napkin on her wrist. Red chuckled. "Oops," he said. No regret. No apology. Across the cafe, no one moved. The waitress looked away. Customers kept sipping coffee like nothing happened, but a little boy saw it all. Maybe 10 years old, sitting with his father. His eyes locked onto Trinity's face. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. She just breathed. A deep, heavy breath, the kind you learn to take when you're used to swallowing pain, when you're used to being alone. She rolled toward the back of the cafe. Chili dripped down her skirt, across the floor. She didn't wipe it. Away, that napkin, her mother's, hung stained like a flag at half-mast. 10 miles away, a dusty motel. A phone buzzed. Amia Cross opened her eyes, dog tags on her chest. Her boots still on. The message read, "She needs you. It's bad." She stared at the screen. No tears, no words, only silence, but even silence can scream. 5 minutes later, she was driving, no music, no mirror checks, just a clenched jaw. And the sound of tires cutting through the cold. The road into Brentford hadn't changed. Same crooked signs, same broken gas station, same water tower leaning like it gave up years ago. But for Amia Cross, every turn felt heavier. This wasn't just a drive. This was a return to something she never wanted to face again. She didn't come for revenge. She came because someone she loved had been hurt. Outside the Rusty Mug Cafe, the cold cut sharper than before. Amia parked behind the building. She sat still, eyes closed, breathing deep. Memories hit fast. Not of Chili or bikers, but of Trinity. Not broken, not quiet, but fierce. Sitting on a porch swing years ago, arguing about poetry. The only one who stayed. When Amia came home from deployment, silent, empty, unreachable, Trinity showed up with soup and silence. The kind of silence that says, "You're not alone." Inside the cafe, the crowd had thinned. Afternoon shadows stretched across the floor, and there she was. Trinity, back in her spot. Same window, same chair, same napkin, still stained but tied neatly at her wrist. Her eyes were far away, but when Amia entered, they found each other. No smiles, no gasps, just a small nod. A quiet recognition. "I'm here," Amia said, gently. "I didn't ask," Trinity whispered. "I know. That's all. That was enough." They sat together in the quiet, until a waitress came over, chewing gum like she hated the taste of everything. "You want menus?" Amia didn't answer, just stared. The waitress walked away. "You shouldn't have come," Trinity murmured. "Shouldn't, or didn't expect." Trinity looked away. Outside, a motorcycle growled past. It wasn't red, but the sound was enough to tighten her shoulders. "They pushed me yesterday," her voice flat. "I didn't fall. Not really. But they made me feel like I had." Amia replied softly. "You did fall," into a silence that let them laugh. No one stood up. "I know." A pause. Then Trinity asked, Why are you really here? There were 1,000 answers. But Amia said only this. Because if I don't show up now, what's the point of all the strength I built? She reached into her coat, pulled out a clean white cloth, soft, unstained, and gently replaced Trinity's napkin. This isn't to replace what you lost, she said. It's so you can carry something new when we move forward. Trinity touched the cloth. Her fingers trembled. And for the first time in 24 hours, she exhaled. Not in pain, but in relief. Are you going to fight them? Trinity asked. No, Amia answered. I'm going to show this town what it really means to stand beside someone. Outside, the sky turned silver. Inside, Trinity's shoulders eased, and a boy passed the window, waving. Trinity, for the first time that day, waved back. Next morning, the Rusty Mug Cafe opened like any other day, but something was different. Trinity was already there, early, prepared, calm, napkin folded on her wrist, tray across her lap, chin up, but this time she wasn't alone. Across from her sat Amia Cross, dog tags tucked beneath her coat, black coffee in hand, eyes steady. She wasn't there to speak. She was there to be seen. Then the door opened. Boots hit the floor like thunder. Red walked in first. Vic and Lenny followed, laughing, loud, like yesterday never happened, until they saw Amia. Look who's got company, Red smirked. Upgraded the accessories, huh? Amia didn't move, didn't blink. Her gaze met his, flat, unshaken. Didn't know the cafe offered security, Lenny joked. Maybe we should get some too. Then Trinity spoke. Her voice, steady, clear, cold as frost. You're not funny, you're not welcome, and you're not invisible anymore. The room froze. It wasn't loud, but the words, they hit like thunder in still air. Amia leaned in, her voice low. We're not here to argue, but you're done making her feel small. Vic laughed. You think you scare us? Amia calmly reached into her coat and pulled out her phone. On screen, a paused video. Red. Tipping the wheelchair. Laughter, slurs, smirks. It was all there. You went viral, Amia said. 3,000 views. Brentford's most famous bullies. Silence fell. Red's face darkened. You recorded us without permission. You harassed a disabled woman in public, Amia replied. You don't get to claim privacy when you never gave her dignity. Behind the counter, the waitress who had once looked away, looked up. Then she walked to the back. Let's go, Vic whispered. But Red didn't move. His pride wouldn't let him. You think likes and shares make you right? No, Amia said. They make you seen. That landed. Harder than she expected. Red turned to Trinity. You gonna cry again, little girl? She didn't flinch, didn't blink. No, she said. I'm going to let you finish your tantrum, and then I'm going to keep living here, eating here, working here, because this is my town too. Red stepped forward. Amia stood. No yelling, no threats, just this. You have 30 minutes. Make your choices carefully. He paused. Then turned. Come on. The others followed. The door slammed shut behind them. Inside. Silence again, but not the same silence as before. This one had weight and meaning. Trinity exhaled. I was shaking. I know, Amia said, but you didn't let them see it. That's power. Across the cafe, someone nodded quietly. A woman tapped on her phone. Awareness had woken up. And it wasn't going back to sleep. They'll be back, Trinity whispered. Amia looked out the window, eyes sharp as steel. So will we. By nightfall, the video had crossed 15,000 views. Amia hadn't planned for that. She just wanted the truth, to breathe outside of Brentford's silence. But now, it was breathing everywhere. Comments poured in. Veterans, activists, strangers. I served. I see you, Trinity. Disgusting. Brentford should be ashamed. Thank you for not letting them erase her. And, of course, the other kind. Bet they edited it. Why bring race into it? If she's that fragile, maybe she should just stay home. Amia scrolled through them, then closed her phone. The truth had landed. Some hated it. Some clung to it. But either way, they saw it now. The next afternoon, Trinity arrived at the cafe to find eggs dripping down the windows, a note taped to the glass. Don't play the victim and you won't get hurt. Inside, the manager stood pale behind the counter, sweating, avoiding eye contact. We didn't know the video would go this far, he said. You mean, Amia replied, you didn't think anyone would care. He swallowed. It's best if you two take a break, just until things cool off. Trinity didn't argue. She turned her chair and rolled away. Outside, the wind whipped her scarf sideways. She didn't fix it. Is it cowardice? She asked, softly. Or just fear dressed in manners? Amia crouched beside her, met her eyes. This town was taught to be quiet. You untaught it. That makes you dangerous. Are you scared? I used to be. Now I'm just ready. She pulled out a notebook. Names, numbers, old friends, veterans, people who didn't need permission to do what was right. You're calling reinforcements? Trinity asked. No, Amia said. I'm calling witnesses. That evening, Red posted his own clip, grainy video. Trinity rolling away from the cafe, scarf fluttering behind her like a white flag. Caption, even the big-mouth sidekick couldn't keep her safe. Ain't no army in Brentford. The comments cheered, mocked, laughed. Amia watched it from inside her truck. No reaction, no rage, just one quiet breath, and then she hit record. You're right, Red, she said into the camera. Brentford doesn't have an army, but it's about to learn what honor looks like. You've got 30 minutes. She hit send. At exactly 2:58 p.m., as Red settled into his usual booth, a matte gray SUV pulled into the cafe parking lot. No music, no lights, no noise. But something had changed. The SUV door opened. 3 figures stepped inside the cafe. No uniforms, no weapons, but they didn't need them. The first, broad-shouldered, bald, walked like every step had purpose. The second, silent, lean, eyes sharp beneath a faded infantry patch. The third, a woman, back straight, eyes scanning, steel wrapped in silence. They didn't look around. They didn't need to. They knew exactly who they came for. They walked past tables like ghosts of every vow America ever made and forgot to keep. They stopped at Trinity and Amia's table. Amia looked up. You're late. Traffic, the man replied. Trinity sat taller in her chair, her scarf tied neatly at her wrist. Thank you, she said. The woman veteran placed a hand on Trinity's shoulder. Not soft, not hard, just right. Then the bald man turned to Red's table. We read the comments, he said, calm as stone. Red leaned back, arms spread. What? You gonna teach me a lesson? No, the man replied. You already failed that class. He unfolded a document, laid it on the table, a formal complaint, filed, logged, under review, from a regional veterans board. Then the woman spoke. Her voice didn't shake. You humiliated a disabled civilian. You mocked her, followed her, and now you've mocked a veteran. She stepped closer. You think this town will protect you? It won't. Towns remember what side of history they stood on, especially when the footage is this clear. Vic looked away. Lenny shifted. Even Red went quiet. Phones were out. People recording. No one pretending anymore. Amia walked to Red's booth, placed her hand beside the folded complaint. "We told you. 30 minutes," then stepped aside. Trinity rolled forward. No anger, no drama, just presence. She looked Red in the eyes. "I'm not here to watch you apologize. I'm here to make sure you never forget that I existed. And you didn't break me." The bald man leaned in, whispered, "You made a lot of noise, but it only took one woman rolling forward to make you silent." They left, all 5 of them, out the door, into the light. A bench sat outside, not new, but clean. A folded blanket rested on it, same pattern as Trinity's scarf. They sat together. No words, just presence. Inside. Red didn't speak. He just stared at the door, as if waiting for it to close for good. Days passed. The town shifted, quietly. No parades, no headlines. But change whispered through the cracks. Red's motorcycle shop shuttered. Vic vanished. Lenny gone. At the grocery store, a teen held the door open for Trinity. At the post office, a note in her mailbox. "We saw. We're sorry. Thank you." The cafe reopened, under new management, new name, Harmony Cafe. In the corner, a brass plaque, "Reserved for Courage," and below it, "Justice doesn't knock. It shows up." Trinity stirred her coffee. No stain, no chili, just peace. Across from her, Amia held a folder, a grant application, for a mentorship program, Wheels Forward. Young women with disabilities. Strength, presence, power. "You sure about this?" Amia asked. Trinity smiled. "I'm not sure about anything, but I've learned." That's no reason to stop. A group of high school kids walked in. One of them nodded at Trinity. Respectful. Quiet. She nodded back. Outside, that same bench sat beneath the window. Someone had added a new brass plate. "To those who roll forward, even when the road is cracked." Amia stepped outside, read the plate, and let the cold air press against her face. It didn't sting anymore. It reminded her she was still here, still standing. Inside, Trinity guided a nervous young barista through the register. Calm, kind. That was her strength. Not noise, not fists, just presence. Then a boy passed by, the same boy who filmed the first video. He stopped beside her chair. "Miss Hayes?" he asked. "Are you a hero?" She looked at him, smiled softly. "No," she said, "but I showed up." A beat. "That's what heroes do," the boy whispered before running off. Amia joined her at the door. "You ready?" Trinity nodded. They moved. Forward. One woman walking. One woman rolling. No marching band, no spotlight, just presence. Into a town that finally